I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, everybody, we're back with another Valoris Tantibus, Session 10, The Intervening Divine 3. When last we left our party, some interesting things happened. The Kami, the spirit, the celestial guide, guiding figure of this group, gave them a little warning. Be careful what you take with you. Let the past die. We shall find out if the party, or those members of the party, truly let things lie. We find the party moving towards the center of this area, a portion of the map that seems to be burned away. As you guys approach the hallway, with only the map to guide you, you hear the sounds of scraping metal on the walls, the mist covering the floors, and distant chattering. All right, you guys have the floor. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go?
Well, it's actually
Shrink down the map for a second.
It is rather large. 3 sessions worth at least.
Indeed.
It's too lazy to delete all those tildes.
So I believe you had been going through this door.
Indeed, you guys did state that you were heading towards that area. When you get to that area, looking on your map, it shows again that squiggly line, which thus far is denoted either some sort of passage or secret wall. When you get up to this side, you can indeed see the backside of what appears to be a one-way door.
Wait, a one-way door?
That is correct.
How?
Oh, it's good that we didn't approach it from the other direction then. Assuming it does open from this direction.
It does
right?
open from the side you're on, which is probably very confusing.
Perhaps this is the answer to that section of the wall we found in the other section of the map, down by the southeast corner.
Aye, that seems to be the case. Well, this is a one-way trip. Shall we press on then?
Who's going through the door first?
Valderin will.
All right, you step through the door. In this room, you see a grand sort of library. Mist is still covering the floors, but many, many bookshelves are lining the walls. Did you have the torch with you?
I do not.
You do not, because it was cast on somebody's helmet, correct?
Yes.
Bailey's helmet.
Yeah, it was mine.
I gave you the light touch.
Oddly enough, when you look kind of back through the doorway, you still see your party members.
Okay.
Not knowing anything's wrong, I guess we'll just proceed after him.
Okay. I'll just move you guys for a quick measure. Again, you see this kind of grand sort of library. Many books line its shelves.
Now, this is peculiar. We should have come out into a hallway, should we not have?
That's what I was thinking too.
Much more bookcase than hallway.
You honestly take anything in this place at face value anymore?
That's very
Yeah,
true.
has a point.
If I stroll down through here, do the bookcases look mostly empty?
Perception. As you kind of glance around, no, it looks like there are many, many books still lining here. Perhaps the Nagpa had not made it to this location, or maybe there's nothing of importance.
Well, I might be wrong, but it looks as though this room has not been picked over as thoroughly as other.
Yes, it seems that the chambers that the Nagpa had visited have been rather well destroyed.
I was wondering if you were like sucking on a lemon or something, or if that was.
Yeah.
I love lemons.
Well, that is a concerning noise.
I want to grab the nearest book at eye level and pull it off the shelf.
Okay. As you pull off a book off the shelf, down towards the south, again, out of eye shot, even those with dark vision have a hard time seeing. Some quick movement towards the southeast. Enough to disturb the kind of the mist that's swirling a bit in that corner. Something moved.
There may be a reason this room wasn't picked over as thoroughly. I'm gonna go further down the room and just light my hands up and kind of hold them aloft.
Faldorin's gonna pull out his hammer and he's back Caspian up.
All right. As you guys start to move down towards that location, it goes quiet.
Pull out what is apparently my lucky crossbow and ready for a move.
If I keep going further down, do I
Caspian,
see a door?
as you get closer to where the door lies, you start to hear a crunching sound underneath your boot.
Whereabouts did I hear that noise?
As you got closer to the door, the crunching got more and more apparent. As for where exactly, you're not entirely sure. Somewhere 10, 15 foot from the doors when it really started to become noticeable.
He'll curse a bit and take a few steps back and try and bring the flames down closer to the ground.
All right. As you bring the flame down, it starts to separate and pull the mist aside. And you swear for just a second you saw kind of some of the skittering insects. That's not what truly disturbs you. What disturbs you is the face staring back at you as it starts to rise up from the ground. Roll initiative. Let me add these. is that one. Okay. Everybody set?
Looks like it.
Believe so.
Indeed. Rising from this, you can see the insects and bugs start to fall off this nasty looking creature. You can almost see it's as though it had beady little eyes staring at you. More insects. It is going to greet you with a claw. First attack is a miss. And I believe multi-attack, yes. Second claw, another miss. Something moves along its body, starts moving across its chest, climbing up collarbone to shoulder. It leaps at you. It lands on your tunic, but you're able to quickly kind of push it away. You can hear it kind of skitter and slide to the floor. Kaladin, you are the first to react.
Okay, I'll slide down and I'll take 2 shots at it.
Okay.
First one.
Oh, you find purchase.
And is this thing considered undead?
It is indeed undead.
Hang on with that. Yeah, sneak attack on this. Damage.
Blam.
And then second attack.
Also a strike.
Wow. I don't think that would hit. And like cross this way on this one.
All right. 2 arrows go flying through this creature. You can hear it strike even against the wall in the back, as you can see kind of the small holes that are left there for a second as the insects start to chitter back. Anything else?
See. I'll use my bonus action and then I'll dash a little more towards the south.
Okay. As you move south, you quickly, your ears and your body will ring out as you hear and feel the crunching sound beneath your boots. That would bring us up to Caspian.
Alrighty, well. Bug thing just came out of the ground and tried to attack him, so his immediate reaction is going to be fire punch to the face.
Nice.
Incoming Soryuken.
So let's do...
Oh, wow. It definitely failed its dex save. Ooh, you bring a full... it's fire, correct? Yes. Brunt of your fire. You can hear the popping sound of these insects as they just burst. A bit of moisture fills the air from their internal juices.
And then I would like to... I'll burn some sorcery points to quicken spell
Okay.
and cast Green Flame Blade as a bonus act.
Okay. Duly noted. Anything else? Oh, that is a strike. Here comes the pain. You bring your flaming sword down. You can see the large gash across. Insects catch fire and skitter. It's still up, however, but it does not look good.
And that'll be my turn.
All right. 2 more rise up from the floor. This one is going to rise up. You can feel its presence there, Kaladin. It just rises up like directly next to you, almost whisper in your ear as it brings its mighty claw to bear. First, it misses horribly. Second, I need to buy new dice. However, it does have a little sneaky attack. Oh. So, Kaladin, you've got what, like a kind of like a tunic on, leather armor?
Is this a spell or ability from this?
It is considered. It is not a spell, I can tell you that. It would just be an ability.
Okay, from greater favored enemy, I get advantage on.
Okay. Go ahead and roll
Save.
roll your dex saving. You're looking for a DC 11. Oh, and you do make it. So part of this creature, a small insect, leaps over onto your body. You're quickly able to adapt and kind of push it off. However, the next one is moving in to strike as well, as you are just prime real estate. First to claw. And that is a strike. As it slashes down your back. Second attack. Also a strike. 8 more points of damage. And of course, a small little worm. But you're far too dexterous. Vic. You can see a lot of action going on to the south. Caspian lighting up the room. Kaladin, unfortunately, moving into a precarious spot. What would you like to do?
As much as I'd like to help Kaladin out, I think taking them down one at a time is the smartest way to go about this. So I am just going to launch a firebolt at the one that Caspian has been
I thought
attacking.
you were going to say fireball.
I do not have that spell.
I know, that would have been funny, though. By all means, go ahead.
Wide hit.
Oh, you strike.
Barely.
You launch your firebolt directly at this creature. It strikes it kind of in the chest. It starts to move a few steps backwards as the flaming pile of insects kind of bursts out. So, Caspian, you're not going to take, like, damage, but as, again, the insects kind of are on fire and explode outwards. You can see and feel them hit against the wall, the door, against the bookcase. Vic, behind you, you hear a voice. What's this now? No fire in the library! Anything else, Vic?
Other than turning around to see what might or might not be behind me, that's it for me.
As you turn around, you do see something that you weren't expecting. You do see someone in robes, a scholarly type figure, but you didn't imagine them to be that short or have that exquisite of a beard. It is definitely a dwarven type spirit. Instead of a maul, it has a stack of books in its hands, like like a little belt that would go around several books, make it easier to carry. He's got one of those in his hands. You can see a pair of spectacles on his face. They're a little too small for his kind of rotund, circular shape of a head. Volderin.
All right. Volderin will approach Kaladin. Do I have enough movement for that? Still confused on the movement in this place.
Okay, so each square is now 5 foot. I put in a grid.
Okay.
You could indeed move 20 to directly north of Kaladin.
I will do that then, and I will cast on Kaladin Protection from Evil.
Protection from evil.
Oops,
Charmed.
Did I target myself too?
You
Looks like-
applied the effect to yourself.
Don't know why.
I'll look up the spell here in the background and drop it. Anything else you wish to do?
That will be it for now for me.
Oh, yeah, you do still have yourself selected as well as a target.
Yeah, that was the issue.
There we go.
You'll have to drop the effect from him.
Yeah, I can take care of it. And you applied it. Okay, cool. Done and done. If nothing else, we are on to Phaley. And yes, I understand that your map is kind of bugged out.
I'm good.
Oh, okay, cool.
I closed out and updated everything.
You turned it off and on again?
Yep.
All right, Master Goblin, what would you like to do?
She's gonna scoot down a little bit. She's gonna slingshot at least one of them, if not two of them.
1 second. I forgot to remove this one. The one you're targeting is dead. There. Sorry about that.
That's alright.
That's the one that exploded everywhere.
Oh.
You were targeting a friend.
Oh, I am?
That's
Oh
fine.
shit, I didn't recognize their token.
A 14 will still strike, so there you go.
There we go.
So just roll your damage.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. As you kind of whip your sling around, you smack into this Volder and Kaladin. You can see some of the insects kind of burst as a stone strikes against it. Anything else? Second attack. And you find purchase for 2 attacks.
Oh
Yep.
shoot, I rolled the wrong
Yep,
one.
that's
Sorry.
okay. Just need to roll some damage. Another stone goes flying. More insects kind of get smashed under its wake. Anything else?
No, that's good for me.
All right. I say, I don't remember humans in the library. Kaladin.
Okay, let's. In this action, disengage. So I can make my attacks. First one. And...
All right, you definitely find purchase. Damage. Done and done. Second attack,
Yep.
also a strike. They are not very deft. Ooh, nice. Bringing it into a critical state. The arrows do not kind of stay within the body. They kind of sail through and then kind of land to the floor. As a, I guess, as a welcome bonus, if you were to search the floor, you think that you would be able to recover your arrows. Though you're
Doesn't
shooting,
matter,
yeah, it doesn't
disappear
matter
after a
anyways.
minute.
All right. If nothing else, we are on to Caspian.
Well, I think if I stand like here, can I do a diagonal cone that hits both of the spawns but doesn't hit Voldur?
Yes. What's the range on your? Is it 15?
Yeah, 15-foot cone.
Yep. So it'll stop just short of Kaladin. However, you will catch some of the backdrop. Books and such.
Do I hear the dude shouting about the library? Or
Oh
is
yes,
that just
everybody heard that. Sorry if I wasn't clear.
Okay, yeah, well, might not do that then, just in case it's another enemy. I'll just move up here and slash at him.
What is he gonna do? Charge you overdue fees? But no problem.
I don't want to be too mean.
Oh, and you strike. And you just eviscerate. You get, you still had green flame blade, yes?
I just use that as a cantrip for attacks.
Okay, I'm with you. So one is done. You kind of slash through them. You still have a flaming sword, but not quite the same effect as you just kind of slice this creature down. It crumples to a small pile of insects as they scatter through the floor, kind of making waves in the mist below. Anything else?
Yeah, I think I'll bonus action disengage and walk away.
Okay, fair enough.
Just so I'm not standing in the bugs still.
All right, my turn. Vic, behind you, that apparition gets definitely within your personal space. Kind of floats up next to your ear.
Do you want to tell me what is going on? I'll give you to the count of 3.
Cuse. Let's see, who did he attack before? They're none too bright. Still going to move after Kaladin. First claw. Why didn't it target? Would an 22 have hit you?
Yeah.
Okay. So roll damage. Oof. At 19 points.
Wait, doesn't have disadvantage from protection against evil?
Yes. But why didn't it roll? Oh, because I
Because
didn't.
it wasn't targeted.
Yep, let me roll it again. It'll probably roll 2. So 18 would have been.
Yeah, it still hits.
Yeah. So we will roll for the second attack. This is at disadvantage. Oh, jeez.
There's your new dice.
13 points of damage. Slashing, necrotic. How about the little worm? Always successes.
So you see, Athrun, we figured out the trick. If you want to hit your players, you have to roll a disadvantage.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
See, that's the end of its turn. And Vic, you hear
2.
Okay, first of all, since I've had a couple of seconds to look at this guy, does he seem to be, like, if I were to assess his wardrobe, does he seem to be like a high rank, like the owner of a library sort of person, or just an employee?
he does not look like a local that came here to check out a book. He doesn't look like any sort of 9-to-5 kind of indentured working class person. This person looks to be very scholarly, wizened, and apparently anxious.
I'm gonna try to bullshit my way through this anyway and say, my apologies, humble sir. We have been hired by the headmaster to take care of your bug problem.
Roll me your bullshit.
It's one of the few things I'm very good at.
That you
so
are.
Let's find out how good.
All right. So the spirit, again, it's kind of floating there, talking to you all in your personal bubble. It very quickly kind of floats around to the other side, your other ear.
The headmaster. They haven't been here in... Gosh, how long has it been? What did you say they wanted?
And we're going to move on to Volderin.
Okay. Seeing his comrade in peril, he is going to once again approach near Kaladin and the giant, or the, I guess, pile of bugs, and he is going to cast.
I cast Fist.
Yeah, he's gonna cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Oh, nice. Yeah, when these things hit, they do not mess around.
Probably have you turn.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Definitely cured up at least one of the wounds.
Yeah. And that is going to be it for Vol.
All right. Vic, you can answer, and then Phaley, it's your turn.
The question was, what did he want again?
He asked, what did essentially, what were you guys here to do again? What was your task? What did the headmaster want?
I would say to eliminate your infestation, and gesture behind me to the giant pile of insects.
Infestation? Experiments. Why would they send you for that?
Bailey.
Bailey's gonna throw some more rocks.
Get him. slams against the head. Second one also finds its mark, just as good as the first.
And pew pew.
Couple rocks. However, you're just not able to peel the attention away of this creature. It seems like it is solely fixated. Kaladin, before you can react. Vic, did you want to retort? Quick retort.
Yes, I'll say it seems that some of these, not all of them, but some of them have developed a predilection for devouring paper, much like the common moth would. So that is obviously more problematic.
Feasible. Go ahead and make me another bull.
Alrighty.
All right. If you could only see this roll.
That means it's either really good or really bad.
So, this figure kind of stands there, slowly stroking its half kind of ethereal beard.
I see. Perhaps you could be of assistance to me. Seems one of my experiments has gone missing. Find him. Bring him back here. You will know him by his red hair.
And the apparition vanishes. However, Kaladin, it is your turn. She's kind of bleeding from these slashes.
Yeah, bleeding, and he's going to take out his dagger and make 2 swipes.
Okay.
And attack.
Oh, and you find Purchase up close in this buggy bastard. You can feel the penetration. I can't even say it. You feel that penetration.
Attack.
You should get sneak attack too.
Yeah, I forgot to apply that. Sneak attack and Colossus Flare.
All right.
Seriously, 3 ones?
Wow.
That does happen, but that plus 10 damage, though,
Yeah.
right?
That's silly.
Just, again, this kind of shambling mound of insects is just coming and clawing at you as you pull your dagger and just trying to hold it back, stabbing with everything that you've got. Caspian.
Well, since it worked pretty well for Vic, I'm also going to try and cast a firebolt at Mr. Bug.
Okay.
Oh, that did twice. I'm sorry.
They both hit. All right. As you hurl this bolt at this creature, it just lights up in that spot. You can see just that burning pock of damage at its side, almost catching Valderan's beard there.
Whoa!
However, was anything else, Caspian?
I'll move over towards the door, and is the door there?
It is. It is closed. You can see some slight burn marks on the wood from the previous explosion.
I'll put my back to it, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. This shambling mound, dagger not stopping it, fire not stopping it, continues on for Kaladin. It wants blood. And it missed because disadvantage. A second attack. Even with disadvantage, it's going to find and make purchase. It brings its claw down. 15 points of slashing damage. Insect leaps off. Again with the successes. Vic.
Okay, a little more wary about where I'm shooting stray firebolts. I'm going to move up a little bit and use my crossbow instead.
The lucky crossbow?
And that'd be the one.
All right, let's see what happens.
Shoot it right over Valdurin's head.
It is indeed lucky.
What would have happened if that was a crit, though? I would have lost my mind.
It's pretty good damage, too. Kaladin, as you're like stabbing it with the dagger, you see a small bolt stick out of the side of this creature, kind of just teasing and kind of taunting you. That's how close it got to you. Anything else, Vic?
No, that'll be it.
Okay. Valdurin.
Okay. So, seeing that this thing is now damaged, he is going to cast a Booming Blade at it.
Okay.
So let's do this weapon attack.
Oh, and you strike.
Nice. Okay. He is also going to use his Divine Strike on this.
All right. Gonna bring the big boomba.
Bring the Bing Boomba.
Now here's the question: when you do your channel ability, doesn't it make everything max damage?
That is if I use
Oh, okay.
Wrath of the Storm. Or not Wrath of the Wrath of the Storm.
I got you. No, my misunderstanding. I thought that's what you were using.
Sorry, Destructive Wrath. Can't get the names right.
As you bring your mighty hammer down, you hear that kind of clap sound before the as it kind of fills part of the air here. Some of the books kind of rattle on the shelves. Insect and chitinous material just kind of fly everywhere. It is still not stopping, moving towards Kaladin. Anything else, Valdurin?
I think I'm gonna have to burn that spell slot then. It must die. Valdurin's going to cast Spiritual Weapon, 3rd level.
Okay.
And he is going to have it swing at it.
Oh, and it makes purchase. Roll that damage.
Is it 3? Yeah.
Boom. As the mass of insects gets struck by this spiritual weapon, it just falls to the floor. After a few moments, the chittering sounds disappear, and the air hangs silent. Wrong music.
All right. Well, Baldwin's going to put away his hammer and pull out his staff of healing.
Okay.
He is going to cast Cure Wounds at 4th level.
Kaelin's just gonna like slump on the side of the bookcase right behind them.
I'm sorry?
I just said Kaelin's gonna slump on the bookshelf right behind them.
Oh, I gotcha. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said as you kind of slide down into the mist as the dwarf goes to work healing your wounds.
I've got you, lad. Does that also use my modifier?
Yeah, we did decide to add a modifier.
Add an extra 4 on that.
Okay. And I'll also cast a 1st level Cure Wounds on me.
Okay. You're all moderately damaged.
Do we want to back up in the back of the library and catch our breath a minute?
I wouldn't be opposed, but we shouldn't tarry too long. It seems like the longer we wait, the worse things seem to get around here.
These old bones could use a good rest. Oh.
We'll say I did have quite an interesting, if brief, encounter with a spectre back there. He seemed to want me to hunt down an experiment of his, which apparently these bug creatures also are. Something with red hair. He said we'd know it when we see it, and he wanted it brought back here.
Well, I mean, is there a chance that any experiment he was working on died a long time ago? This place is supposed to be really old, right?
If these piles of insects are an experiment of his, they still seem very much alive.
True, but they weren't anything close to human.
All he said was that it would have red hair. That doesn't necessarily mean it's human.
Oh, so just for the record, were we taking a breather, or were we pressing?
Valderin could use the rest.
Sounds like we will then.
Short rest?
Yeah.
We can spend hit dies on short rest, right?
You sure can.
Cool.
Oh, do you have Song of Rest, Vic?
Yes I do. I suppose I could play as something.
All right. You spend at least 1 hit die, you can get the Song of Rest bonus as well.
How much is that again?
1d6.
Oh, nice.
That one doe.
Fine, it was the least hurt out of everyone.
I've seen plenty of people reduced to 1 hit point before.
All right, so your hour goes mostly uneventful. Just kind of tending to your wounds, praying to any sort of gods you need to, maybe even looking around the room a little bit. Although there are a lot of books in this room, there's nothing of real importance. And the reason you come up with that is you no more than open a book and you see all of its pages are empty.
Like blank?
Like blank. That's a really odd library.
Do the spines have any labels on them, or are they blank as well?
I mean, there are like labels for the books, titles, I guess is what you would describe them as, and it will spread a multitude of different sorts of subjects. But whenever you open the book, there is literally nothing written inside, or at least nothing present inside.
I'll go ahead and, while holding a book open, use a charge of my wand of magic detection and just see if there's an enchantment on it.
Ah. As you glance at the book, you can see kind of the residue that was left from where writing once was. But you get the sense... what is the best way to describe this? I'm going to have you make some sort of check. Some sort of knowledge-based check. Let's see here. Skills, there we go. I think insight is probably the most accurate. Though I would also allow an intelligence-based arcana. But I don't think it makes a difference for you.
A little better with insight, actually, so I'll roll that. Hey.
Boom. That's your lucky insight roll. All right. So as you can kind of see this magical residue, which kind of leads you to think there was at some point something written here. So it's not like it's been erased. It's almost as though it's been removed.
Definitely with intent.
Like, well, you don't really know intent or not, but it's like something has removed all of the texts from all of the books here. You don't feel like it was erased, like it's gone forever. You feel like it's been removed or pulled somewhere else by magical means.
Okay.
Checked
I'll
out,
relay that with the
withdrawn.
group.
So they literally stole the knowledge right off the page.
That's disturbing.
I'll take back what I said. This room might be the most thoroughly picked through of them all. I wonder what important information was here.
Well, if it was picked through by one of our enemies. I said I would imagine it's not the Nagpar. We've seen what they do.
What do you mean by that, Vic?
The other rooms that they had investigated were thoroughly destroyed. They took what they wanted and left the room in ruins.
Then what, pray tell, took the words right off these pages?
Well, we know there are multiple forces at work in Tantibus. We know there is a pretender god. We know there's a group of mind flayers beneath all of a sudden I'm forgetting the name of it now. The church.
The clerisy?
The clerisy, yes. There's a group of mind flayers beneath the clerisy. Could be any one of them.
All I know is whoever has the ability and the intent to rob a library of all of its contents in such a manner is not someone I want to be at enemies with for very long.
I have a question. Did we look at any of the books in the other rooms at all?
Yes.
Did they have words in them?
Yeah, I'd read a couple of books.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if maybe none of the books in this entire place had words.
Quite the mystery.
Well, we should carry on either way.
Yes, and perhaps we should keep an eye out for this experiment with the red hair. If nothing else, perhaps we can get some answers from that spectre if we do him a favor.
Well, in between all the other horrific flashbacks, we'll look out for someone with red hair.
Gotta find Becky with the red hair.
All right, what would you like to do? Your hour is up. You guys are about as rested as you can be.
Door busting down time.
Aye, let's press on.
Kicking names, taking doors.
FBI, open up.
Knock, knock, mother. All right. Are you literally kicking the door down?
No, I'd imagine I'll just open it.
Yeah, you open up the door and it slides over. You can see pretty closely to what is described on your map. The only difference is let's see. Boop and there is a bit to the north. You cannot see through, as you can see an obvious sort of wall there.
So like here, there's like a wall.
That is correct. Up to the, it should be blank on your screen.
Gotcha. But coming out into like this region, I still see this entryway to the right.
You can, and let me. Reveals the map.
Looks like this room's here anyway.
Yes, you can see row after row after row of bookshelves. You don't really see anything on them. It's almost as though they were stacked in here for storage.
Just out of curiosity, I'm going to turn around and look at the door that we just came out of. Is there any kind of sign on it that would indicate the purpose of that room?
There is no signage above the door or around it.
Okay, just wondering.
Oh, if I go into the room and kind of walk around, can I
Perception.
notice it? Truly my strongest suit.
Is it?
No, not really.
You again, just the vast emptiness of this place is a little unsettling. It's just empty shelves. A husk.
Well, I don't think we're gonna find too much of interest here.
Then I believe the only place we have yet to discover is to the south.
Just because it strikes me as a curious room because the part of the map had been burned off, I'm going to poke around these shelves looking for any kind of hidden switches or levers or anything that might reveal another passage.
You may make a perception. Again, as you look around, the only thing that you find is the vastness of empty space. If someone were hiding something here, they have gone to great lengths to keep it hidden. Clandestine.
Well, if they've burned away an area of the map and emptied out this room of its contents, clearly they've done a very good job.
I hope I'm wrong, but maybe the burned areas of the map are just burned. Maybe they're not special after all. Faylee, will you do something for me?
Yeah.
To the north there, if I'm where I think we are on the map, that shouldn't be a wall. Can you shoot a pebble at?
She'll do just that. She'll slingshot a little one of her smaller rocks.
Okay. No roll is necessary. As you kind of whip it around, you throw it, and you can hear the kind of the sound as it smacks against the stone, falls to the floor, disappears within the mist. And that's when the eyes appear on the wall. Two red, almost orb-like lights, entities, staring down to the south.
Ah, I angered the wall.
Tell it you're sorry.
We apologize, O wall, for hitting you.
Silence fills the air.
I apologize.
Good friends, I suggest we vacate this area.
That's probably a very wise decision.
And he's running south.
Okay. As you were kind of preoccupied, I did do a roll there in the background. I was looking for a token, but you guys moved very quickly. Across the way, but before you moved south. 2 seconds. You see, I don't know if I have. We'll use this for right now. Just slightly above the mist, you see kind of a figure kind of bobbing up and down as they move across the hallway. Again, just barely out of the mist. It moved off to the west and kind of disappeared.
Did you say what they looked like? Sorry.
You couldn't see. It was just something barely above the mist, which is maybe a foot or so.
So as he starts moving to the south, he'll kind of hold his arm out maybe to catch someone that was following him and say, "Eyes behind, moving ahead."
Quite literally in this case.
What would you like to do? Keep moving south like it was just your intent?
Anyone protesting?
Not yet.
Oh, I guess we'll go south then.
All right.
Well, if we continue, we should probably be more cautious if there are things roaming about now.
All right. As you move south, you can see... I'll use this marker. The one on this side, the door, is glowing a faint reddish color. The door, which would be on your right, or the left side of the map, seems to be of a solid slaty stone color.
Hadn't we already passed through that?
Negative.
We would have had to.
Down here to the south?
Oh, to the south now.
Yeah, way to the south. I put a marker
okay.
on it. It's spinning. Yeah.
Ricka.
If I remember correctly, someone set off that trap, right?
Yes.
Predicted.
Yeah, the squares, like he let the ceiling drop on him or something.
That is correct.
That's not a pit, right? That's just fallen
On,
ceiling.
on the map, again, you guys weren't exactly sure what it was. It may have been like a pitfall. What you guys did spring the trap, it was actually the ceiling that kind of gave way.
Okay, so if we were to head there, we just crawl over the rubble.
Yeah, it's not a ton of rubble. I mean, it's kind of slow moving through the squares, additional movement, but nothing that you guys couldn't handle.
Just because nothing ventured, nothing gained, I'm going to, before I head south to join the others, approach fairly close to that wall with the eyes and just say, "You wouldn't mind moving out of our way, would you?"
The eyes, you can see them for the first time kind of shift left and to the right, and kind of vertically north to south start to get smaller. Once the lights go out, the center starts to light up in some sort of arcane rune. It would stretch roughly 3 foot by 3 foot.
Cautiously, I'm going to put my back to the wall in case it's about to shoot a big-ass beam of energy down the hallway.
Okay. As you kind of lean back, few whispered moments hang in the air. Nothing happens. The arcane rune is still there, however. I mean, it's very obviously an arcane rune.
Maybe it's like a locking mechanism.
I'm gonna try touching it and see what happens.
Okay. As you reach your hand out, inches, centimeters, nanometers away, you touch the square. Make me a Constitution save. Okay. You feel a little sick. Do you have any resistance to poison?
I do not believe so, no.
All right. So 12 was not enough to save. You will take 25 points of poison damage as the rune just explodes in your face in a poisonous cloud, just vomiting, puking. Your eyes just water as you hit the floor. You're just unable to stand. It won't just kind of, it's not like a not a stinking cloud. It's not like a cloud kill sort of lingering effect. It was just a one-time kind of explosion as it starts to dissipate. Even Phaley at your distance, you're like, ugh. Just the rankness even makes your goblin eyes kind of tear a little bit as Vic is just... That is a lot of damage.
Yes, I take it that's a no then.
Yeah, the party to the south, you would have heard the small explosion happen. The rune says, no touching.
Well,
Go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say, hearing that explosion, Baldurin's gonna like rip around and just rush over to Vic and see if he's okay. Tiny little old dwarf legs. We'll take him there.
I'm alright. I've been better, but I've been worse. Maybe just stick to the back for now.
Aye, lass, that probably would be for the best. Here, let me see if I can at least get rid of some of the symptoms.
He pulls out some
Nice.
jerky.
Save your energy for a fight. I can heal myself a bit.
You sure, lass?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Alright then.
I'll go ahead and pop a second level healing word on myself.
All right. A little bit of excite.
Oh, nice.
That is some good healing.
Well, Caspian would like to climb the pile of rubble.
Yep, no problem. It's just double your movement to move through.
And so does the door to the south look more distinct now?
Yeah, you can see kind of a magical effect on your left-hand door. You can see like it's coated in some sort of magic, kind of shimmering up and down its walls. The door on the right, it looks like you might be able to open it. You're not sure. The magic might worry you a little bit.
You know, I've had this sneaking suspicion about that door. There's a room to the right of us where we had gone in and opened that sarcophagus, and the door to the right is glowing. There's a room to the left of us with a similar set of bars, and that door we haven't opened yet, And the door to the left of us is also not glowing.
You think we armed a trap?
Or do you
That
think we
or
haven't
disarmed
finished
one.
unlocking it?
Yes, I was thinking the latter, but now I'm worried.
Before I touch it and do what you just did, you think it's worth checking out?
It certainly couldn't hurt.
So, the doorway to the west of Vic right now, is that still there?
There is indeed a doorway there. It seems maybe you've forgotten, maybe the labyrinth is changing around you, maybe doing certain things is causing alterations, or maybe it's been open this entire time. It's hard to tell. But for now, the path is clear.
Well, shall we take a look?
Let's definitely go check it out. Just, weapons out. That's the direction the movement I saw was going.
Baldur's gonna look back at Caspian. Try not to get stuck this time.
Hey, hips don't lie, Voldurin.
Well enough.
Just remember, I've only got one dimension door left.
All right, Caspian. You're the closest, but others will hear the sound of metal on metal, the shh, 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 shh kind of sound. Before you, you can see the metal shafts that were kind of creating the poles to the south. You can see them dancing up and down. They open up just wide enough that if somebody were daring, they might be able to leap through. Would anybody like to attempt?
Oh, good. So at least you don't get stuck on these.
No, but you could very well get impaled by one of these.
I'm afraid that there's no chance that I'd be able to get through that.
I'm willing to give it an attempt, but,
Failure would come at a high cost. Everybody would know this.
Well, I'm still a bit wounded to take the chance myself, but I could offer some inspiring words for whoever would like to make the attempt.
I'll give it a try if, Kaladin, are you not feeling up to it?
I can go if you want.
If you don't feel, very heartened about it, I'll go. I just know that you've always managed to be a bit more flexible than even me.
Well, I can make an attempt, and then if all goes well, then you can follow behind.
All right, so you're going to try to leap through this death trap?
Sure.
All right.
I will give him inspiration
Okay.
of the bardic kind.
And as Kaladin passes Baldurn, he'll put his hand on his shoulder and
May the Kami
So
watch over you.
and
So-
he's going to cast guidance on him.
perfect. So you will have guidance, and I would like for you to make me an acrobatics check and drop it in the bucket.
Okay.
As you stand back, the poles just leaving only a split second. If you err, this could end up very badly.
And I have guidance and inspiration.
That you do.
My inspiration is a D8.
All right.
Mine's a D4.
So,
That's and I don't know if guidance was applied.
guidance was not applied.
Don't have a
So-
way to apply it to you.
Nope.
We'll just
So perfect.
add 10 to that.
So, Kaladin kind of leans back, just watching the bars go up and down, just timing. You can see the calculations going on in his head. And then, like a shot of lightning, just leaps forward. And we'll find out after our break. Let's take 10 minutes. All right, I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Got about another minute here or so, I think. I think everybody's back. Seem everybody at least talk or type. Is Rainbow back? All right.
I never go anywhere.
Oh. All right. Moon's gonna be right back.
I'm here too. I'm just eating a snack.
Awesome. That cliffhanger, though.
What could
So who wants to be
possibly
the
go
first person to say you were almost a Jill sandwich?
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Well, in this case, it'd be more of a Jill kebab.
True.
Speaking of kebabs, is anybody going to Gen Con? That was a terrible segue.
That was a very bad segue. And that's what I appreciate about you, Atherin.
Can't confirm.
I'm so glad Hulu now has the rights to this, so I don't have to wait.
I was trying to find a GIF earlier, but I couldn't find one when we were in that room with the empty shelves. And Atherin was saying the vast emptiness, and it reminded me of Futurama when the professor was saying, "Oh, the vast emptiness," as he's shaking an empty beer can.
That does happen. So you guys want to start taking bets?
Well, with an extra 10, I would feel like it'd be hard to bet against her survival.
Is that an extra 10?
Maybe, I don't know.
Or is that just the second roll because of advantage?
Say what?
Well, he has an extra 10 from the guidance and the inspiration.
Well, the inspiration is essentially advantage.
Oh, no, bardic inspiration. Not the GM inspiration.
Is that not a D20?
No, it adds a D8 onto the roll he made.
I'm trying to see where the D8 is. Oh, okay. The
That was
icon
one that
looks.
rolled a 6, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It looked like a D20, so I thought it was inspiration, like a second roll. Hold on, let me erase everything. You all set, Kaladin?
I don't think
Yep, just
Perfect.
got back on.
All right, so we took bets. We put you at 3-to-1 odds.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so not too bad.
Come on.
As-
Drew needs a new pair of shoes.
As you are lining up the shot, so to speak, just waiting, calculating in your head, leaping through, the bars slide close. Your party members start to kind of wince as, they hear the snap sound as you tumble through to the other side, narrowly missing the impending doom. Good job. Those bonuses certainly helped. That's what we'll say there. So you guys see that, hear the snap. This is from the party perspective as Kaladin disappears to the other side. You don't see any kind of mangled mess within the bars. You don't see any spray of blood. You don't hear any blood curdling sounds. Kaladin must have made it through. They kind of tumble, come up, almost in that superhero type pose, the mist kind of spreading before them. Kaladin, before you, this is what you see in this room. And I'm going to use a couple markers here.
Can you share the map with me?
I sure can. Boop. It might pop open
Thank
for
you.
everybody. There. And there. To either side of you, on the map, it was marked as either a sarcophagus or a bookshelf. In this room, it's different. Bookshelves line both the north and south walls. But to the east and west, you see a small, not exactly adult-sized seat. You can see it's partially shrouded by the mist, maybe for an adolescent or a child. But sitting in these chairs, you see it almost looks like a small doll, like made of cloth. In the one on the left, you can see this small doll figure is dressed up kind of like your stereotypical knight in shining armor. You can see it's just kind of radiant silver armor adorning its body. It's clutching a shield tightly in both hands. To the other side, you see another, what appears to be maybe a warrior. They don't have the glistening armor of the one and the other, but very tightly in its hands is holding like a two-handed sword, much larger than the doll's body. And you kind of come to as you hear the snapping sound of the poles, the bars from behind you.
Everything all right in there, Cal?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Still have all your toes?
All fingers, all toes.
What do your elf eyes see?
With this newfound adrenaline, Kalen's gonna remember that he has an immovable rod in his bag of holding, so he's gonna pull that out. He's gonna say, he's gonna say to the party, I have an immovable rod, I can stick it into the bars, so then hopefully you guys can also cross over.
Well, possibility. Is it, what do you see in there first?
There are two dolls over here, one has a shield and one has a sword.
That sounds mighty familiar, doesn't it, fellas?
Maybe
Indeed it
this is the
does.
room that we need.
If that's the case, we left some perfectly good potions in the other room for no reason.
Well, sword or shield, fellas? Should we have him touch one?
Yeah, choose me.
No, choose me.
No, me.
The dolls start to speak, echoing across the walls.
Do we all hear that?
Yes.
I think perhaps it's best we all get in there before he makes a decision.
Well, let's try that rod then, Kaladin.
There's a time and a place.
Gross.
I pull out my firecracker.
Deuces somehow. Oh, that's too funny. All right. So you're going to try the rod trick?
Yeah, may as well.
Okay. And how exactly are you going to try to wedge this?
I don't think I don't have to put it all the way up. Try and see if we can get at least halfway so that people can at least crawl under. And hopefully the removal rod will impede the movement of the bar.
You can stop the bar from coming all the way down or all the way up. The problem is there's no space for them to fit through, I guess is the best way. Let's see if we can maybe draw a picture. So you've got this isn't the best. I'll use the room above. So you've got, think of a mechanism kind of like this, where some of the bars are coming from the top, going down, and some of the bars from the bottom are going up.
Do the bars fully recede?
Almost completely.
Well, if you wait until the ones going up reach the bottom of their descent and freeze one of them there, we can just sidle along that position and leave the rest to their gnashing.
But if the say you put the immovable rod down here, that doesn't afford you any space to squeeze through.
Can I wait till the middle one goes to the bottom and then stick it on top?
You can, but you're gonna have the same scenario where you still got the other bars.
Or would they
And there's not enough space to squeeze through
That is
between
correct.
the other two.
Just like the room to here, you guys had to physically bend and move a bar out of the way. It's not a bad plan. It's just unfortunately without the only one that might be able to squeeze through is Faley.
Well,
At the very least, having her with you is better than being alone.
Indeed, and should something start to go wrong in there, don't hesitate to make your way back towards the bars so we can at least fire in.
Use my shield. I can block those.
Don't listen to him. Take my sword, chop right through it.
So, using the rod or not?
yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay.
Okay. So Faley, it's still going to be kind of a dexterous affair. I'm going to need you to either roll me acrobatics or you can make a straight dex roll. And if you would drop it in the dice tower. Okay. So even with a small bonus that I applied for the immovable rod, you're very your nimble grace affords you the ability to kind of kite through it, just squeeze through that small space. The only thing, your ears will kind of rub a little bit against that immovable rod as you kind of pass through. But you will come out
Poor
unscathed. Them goblin ears, though. As you join Faley down here.
Oh, look!
Well, I can't see anything, but I'm going to kind of lean close and say, all right, you two, whatever you are, perhaps you should present your best cases as to why we should choose one of you.
Huh. Well, there are two now.
You could just take both.
Pretty sure Mother said we only got one.
I don't see Mom.
Cats away, cats away.
I mean, if she made the rules, we should stick to them.
You're no fun.
What do you think, sis? You're so boring.
Can Kaden look around in this room and see if there's some kind of like switch or lever to try and like deactivate the bars?
Yeah, perception. As you glance around the room, something that wasn't immediately obvious will catch your eye. Behind both of these chairs, you do see switches on the wall. One to the west, one to the east.
You're boring.
Whenever you figure it out.
Hey guys, I found some switches over here that I may be able to deactivate the bars.
They're not even listening to us.
I know. Let's go play somewhere else.
All right.
Hurry up and do whatever you guys are gonna do in there.
Okay, I'll point out the switch to the east to Fairlane and be like, get that one. I'll get the other one.
Okay. She'll start heading over to one of them.
Okay. So you're going to head over to the east switch, Kaladin to the west.
Perhaps pull them both at the same time, just to be sure.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. It does indeed sound like a good idea. As you guys pull down on the lever, simultaneous, you hear the click, click, click sound. Good news is, the swaying bars, they will stop in their open position, giving birth for the party to come through. There is a bit of bad news, as we're going to roll initiative, as two figures slam down from the ceiling. All right, everybody set?
Mm-hmm.
Poor Volder.
He's old.
He is
Ship's acting up.
indeed
You always want the
slow.
cleric to go last, though.
He's got the gout.
Fair enough. All right.
Count?
So let's start this off right. they go with the same initiative as these two cloakers slam down from the ceiling. Let's see if they can 2 attacks and bite. Bite and tail. Okay. Failey, you've got a bite coming at you. And it misses. Let's see if the tail. And that is a strike. Not a lot of damage, but 11. Not too bad. Check one thing real quick. That's the end of its turn. Cloaker 2. Kaladin. Bite attack. Miss. Tail attack is also a miss. Bailey, you're the first to react.
She's gonna start swinging at the one closest to her.
And you hit. For 13 points of damage. Nice. Another strike. Good damage.
Then I can disengage, right?
You can indeed.
I'm gonna walk around and back away a little bit.
Alrighty. And following suit, almost reacting at the same time, Kaladin.
Bonus action, disengage, move around.
You guys are very, very lucky they didn't hit with their bite.
And 2 attacks.
Oh, you hit.
And it says humanoid or undead.
They are... I don't believe so. Pull it up here again. They are not undead.
Okay, so it'll be normal damage.
All right. 14.
And then second attack.
Also a strike. That damage. All right. Nothing else? I believe it is Caspian's turn. You hear the sounds of combat coming from this room.
Why is this never easy?
Let me do off the cicada, then pop in the frame and then shoot 2 arrows.
And you said the bars have totally stopped, right?
Yes, absolutely. As soon as they pulled those switches, the bars stopped, and these cloakers who were waiting in the shadows lashed out.
I'm gonna move down here to the next to Kaladin, and I am going to actually... I'm gonna touch him and cast haste.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Gotta go fast.
Wait, did that give it to me?
It gave it to you.
Yes, it did.
I can.
You can.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so he is hasted. That's my action, and shoot, bonus action dash, I guess. I'm gonna menace this one, and that'll be mine.
Okay. Vic.
Okay. I'm gonna keep this fairly simple for now, trying to conserve those spell slots. I'm gonna dart in. I still don't have a clear picture of what's going on, so I'm just following my allies, and I'm going to attack the cloaker that is currently being waylaid.
Okay. You miss. That is not your lucky
I
firebolt.
That is not. But I will pull right back out again. I am a little too hurt to stick around in this.
Giggity.
Catherine.
What? It's what half of D&D is. Just pulling out. I'm done.
I don't think we'll get that far.
All right. Anything else?
That is it for now.
Voldrin.
All right. Valderin will enter the room and go about right there. And that'll be it for him.
Okay. Nothing else?
I don't have many spell slots to burn, and not close enough for melee.
No problem. You don't have Sentinel, right?
No.
Okay. I feel confident you can get the goblin here.
Please don't get the goblin.
No! Hit with the tail at least. All right. Swings its tail wide, catching Phaley for 11 points. And Cloaker 2, we are going to do this instead. Boop. As it lets out a shrill howl. Did it apply the effects to those who failed?
I spend an inspiration to re-roll mine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear, this isn't a charm type effect.
This is frighten.
Gotcha.
The DC on this, Vic, is a 14 or a 13. 14 will pass. So let me take care of why. Oh, hold on. I'll do this. And I think next time I should apply it and then we'll roll. So let me go down through the list. Let me know if you succeeded or failed. Phaley. Yours was a fail. Okay. Kaladin, yours.
Success.
Success. So let me remove yours. Caspian, yours was
Fail. It
okay.
looks like it was just me and Phaley that failed.
Thank you. All right, all effects are removed. That is done. Now we will move on to Phaley. You are frightened. You cannot move closer to the target that you're frightened of, which
That's
is
fine.
the one on the west side.
She's got other weapons. She can chuck at him. I can still attack them, right? I just can't move.
That is correct. Not to the one on the west side.
Excellent.
Oh, your javelin pierces the
Pew
heavens.
pew.
7 points of damage.
Not that one didn't.
That one does not strike.
Wait, so, hold on. She shouldn't have disadvantage against the one on the right, should she?
I think it's disadvantage on all attacks if you can see the creature
I
you're
think
frightened
that
of.
I think that's correct. I'll
Okay.
pull that up. Otherwise, it would be impossible to keep track of. But that is the way that we're going to play it for right now.
Yep, gotcha.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. So next we are up to Kaladin.
Well, now that I'm all juiced up on magic, I will bonus action cast Hunter's Mark. On number 2.
All right.
And then I will make my 3 attacks. So hasted. First one. This goes.
Dang. That is a lot of damage.
That up. Second attack.
Oof.
It's normal damage.
Just destroying fools.
Third attack.
3 arrows. 3 strikes.
Hunter's Mark.
Almost.
Did you sneak attack one of those?
Yeah, on the first one.
Gotcha.
Almost felling this target. Caspian. You don't like the way this thing looks. You can't get any closer than engaged with this.
As I am already engaged with this.
But no closer. Leave room for the Holy Ghost.
Gotta have Jesus in there. I guess my fear is going to take the form of me. I'm going to use a bonus action to use my face step ability. Which
Okay.
will teleport me to the other cloaker.
Okay.
So I teleport in a burst of fire. He takes some damage from that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to slash him.
And that one goes up in a burst of fire. Not really, it just flumps to the floor. And your attack strikes. Roll damage on this other creature. You're striking yourself, I think. Maybe not.
Oh. I had him targeted, I thought.
No, maybe you do. It just looked funny.
Okay, I have him targeted now, but that should have been 10 damage.
Okay. Record that. Anything else?
That'll be all. So I'm just... The fire should not have killed the other one. The fire goes where I teleport.
Oh. Okay, pretend the other one's still there.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's my misunderstanding. So I will apply that here. It was 4 damage.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you guys don't kill it, then I can fix it here real quick, actually. Okay. It is Vic's turn.
Okay, I have no idea what's going on in the room because I backed out, but I do know that that scream was pretty terrifying, so I am going to start performing my counter charm.
That is a very underused ability. Does
So
it?
everybody who can hear me gets advantage on saving throws against being frightened.
Okay, very good.
Do we make end of turn saves?
Let me. That's what I just thought of. Checking that right now. Transfer. Until the end of the cloaker's next turn.
Gotcha.
Yep. So technically no. But their turn's coming up. Anything else, Vic?
That's it for now.
Okay. Baldrin.
All right. Valderin will cast Booming Blade at the choker that's in front of him.
Okay. Joker.
Cloaker, sorry.
I mean, technically that's what they try to do, but these guys weren't very effective.
All right. He is going to throw his Divine Strike on this one.
Okay. That's a lot of damage.
That it is.
Yes. Stormbearer comes thundering down, slamming against the kind of thick carapace of this creature. Lightning dances off the body. Very nice.
Right, and that will be it for Valderin.
All right. Well, Cloaker, what's there? They're not stupid. It is going to switch tactics here. Nope. Less Phaley, more Caspian. Going for a bite. Hit. Really?
Kick.
Why does the tail roll high?
You
All
just
right.
need to call the tail first, then do the bite.
Right? Oh, but that's good. At least the concentration went down. So as it swings its tail, you momentarily just lose focus on what is going on, dropping your spell and taking 10 points of damage. So this guy can't get any closer.
It's really not good for Kaladin right now.
I'm sorry, Kale.
Yeah.
All right.
Crack's a hell of a drug.
So give me just a second. Okay.
Yeah, they're multiplying.
Essentially, yes. Phaley, it is your turn. Why did that one disappear? Hold on. But go ahead. 4.
Am I still scared?
All the frightened effects would have ended here, so I will make sure to remove them.
Okay. Well, that's not good.
If anybody's targeting 3, 4, or 5, let me know which one you're targeting.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's very dead.
Oh boy. You do. You just smash that thing into pieces.
Just crunched its skull in with your flail.
However, across the room, you see 3 more.
She'll scoot forward, and that'll probably be it for her.
Okay. Kaladin, it is now your turn. You know that there's one of these was the real one. It's playing a trick.
Well, haste.
But which one is the real
lost,
one?
So haste is gone, so I can't move or take actions until the next turn.
Yeah, you're kind of fucked.
Oh, that does suck. Caspian.
You could take a bonus action if you had anything you wanted to do.
I don't think so, because it says you can't move or take actions.
Oh, possibly. I'm not sure. Well, feeling kind of bad that I just kind of dropped Kaladin on his head. I'm going to, try and make up.
Try not to get too close, lad.
Fireball!
I have a plan.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, I know the magic wore off. I know that Kaladin's look like moving like a fly in molasses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go by Phaley. Can I pick Kaladin up and put them behind?
Pick, like kind of position them behind you?
Yes, I'd like to use swap in my tactical RPGs.
I don't see any problem with that unless Kaladin objects.
I don't think I can object anyways.
Okay, so I'll suplex Kaladin behind me.
So you suplex the train. All right, so you take up that protective stance.
I'm sorry, that was, oh, this doesn't usually happen to me. Oh.
My bad. Oh, performance anxiety. Vic.
All right. Speaking of performances, I'm going to go ahead and keep mine going, so everybody will still have advantage if it comes up again. And I'll toss a healing word onto Fady.
Okay.
Bless.
It is Voldurin's turn.
All right. Well, this is the first time I get to use this, and I'm quite excited. So Voldurin will spin Stormbearer around, and he will give it a good toss.
Uh-oh.
Right in the middle of all of them, probably around. Let's see, how do I show?
Like around where the ampersand is?
Yeah, behind that, on the edge of that sarcophagus.
Okay.
And he is going to yell out, "Stormbearer, unleash your rage!"
Awesome.
And he is going to have it go boom.
All right.
He is also going to use destructive wrath with it too, so it's max.
So I have to make a DC 15 save.
Yes.
What it looks like here. Alrighty, let's see what happens. What happens if I make the save? They take half,
It's
probably?
half, yeah.
So it's half of max damage.
Yeah, so half of 36.
Is that more than 2 points of damage?
It's very much
Because that's
more.
literally what it had left. Describe to me what happens.
So, as I said, he throws Stormbearer out there and calls it to unleash its rage. It then explodes into a sphere of lightning that just engulfs everything in that area.
That is awesome.
What illusion? Fuck illusion.
Well, he got the real one. The real Slim Shady. A silence fills the room.
Baldurin will hold his empty hand up and go, "Stormbearer, return!" And it will appear in his hand.
That's awesome. This angry old dwarf.
It would have been 500 times funnier if nothing happened.
It's like it was like shoved down into the floor, and he's like, return, and it just kind of clatters to the floor.
I swear this never happened before.
All right, so the bad guys have been bested. You guys were victorious. It's unfortunate for the DM that they didn't get the latch on. Sucks, but thus is life. Left within this room are the two lifeless, motionless, soundless dolls.
Well, what do you suppose we're supposed to do with these?
Caspian will go up and look at, I think this was the shield one?
One of them is a shield, one of them is a sword.
Whichever one he was closer to, I think this was
sword.
That's the sword one,
Mhm.
okay. Well, he'll go up and look at it, like, does it look any different from after that battle?
It's not speaking, it's not moving, it just appears to be a lifeless doll. Made of cloth, buttons. In its hands is obviously some sort of sword, a weapon.
And just to be clear, is the sword also, like,
Cloth.
fake, like part of the doll?
Yep, like sewn onto the hands.
Best I can tell, it looks just like a normal doll.
Is anything as it seems here, though?
He will reach out and pet it on its head.
Nothing happens.
Can I scruff it and pick it up off of the chair?
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. It's just a small doll, maybe the size of, I don't know, like a baby doll.
Well, kind of holding it by its collar, he'll just turn around and show it for his friends, like, it looks like a doll to me.
I see how it is. You touch a creepy talking doll and nothing happens. I touch a glowing rune and I get exploded.
I mean, we can explode the doll too. That would get rid of it.
If we are to make a choice here, I'm not sure how we are supposed to do so.
Well, I guess the decision is what we hold dear. A strong offense or a stronger defense?
Well, they do say the best defense is a good offense.
Given that I've got this one in my hands, why don't we try and take it to the door, see if maybe it can open it for us.
Oh, curious idea. It's worth a shot.
So Caspian will put the doll on his shoulder, not unlike Phaley was earlier in this adventure, and they will go to the other.
Okay.
I'm going to take a quick glance between the bookshelves of this room and just see if I see any black feathers.
You may make a perception. Caspian. And everybody's pretty much decided on this particular doll, the one that you have in your hands, correct?
I do believe that is correct.
Okay.
Sure.
Didn't hear objections.
Much the same, but just double checking. As you take the doll out of the room, the other one just starts to unravel and come apart. It is nothing but cloth and cotton and button. Vic, as you examine this room, you do not find any sort of anything out of the ordinary, so to speak. You see that the switches were indeed designed to operate in tandem. Other than that, there's nothing really special in this room. The bookshelves have been picked clean.
Okay. I guess I'll head back towards the door then. Actually, I will peek around the corner and just see if I see that movement that was being talked about earlier, because I don't think I saw it myself.
Oh, okay. The hallway is kind of clear. There's just a small swath from where Caspian had walked through as the mist is starting to settle back. Caspian, as you make your descent down to the south, something that you didn't notice before, there's an obvious slope, downward angle to the path that you're walking. You walk what seems to be minutes upon minutes as you head to the south. The door's only getting a little closer. It's as though maybe time has changed or the distance has changed. Something has changed as you feel like you're descending down deeper and deeper. As you approach the door, you are going to notice that indeed the other panel is glowing. We'll steal these. That was not what I wanted to do.
Looks like your call was right, Vic. We did have to mess with that room first.
I'm gonna scoot you back too, as you're not quite there yet. Vic, as you round the corner, you can see Caspian a ways off into the distance.
Perhaps we should retrieve something from the other room then before we approach this what seems to be final door.
Caspian is quite a ways down the hallway and presumably just walking forward.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go and pick up his immovable rod.
As you continue to walk forward and forward and forward, the walls start to change. They go from kind of that smooth kind of marble slate into earth. Within the earth, you start to see more sediment. Bone becomes more apparent. Deeper, it starts to turn into kind of like a black igneous type rock. The kind of an odd, like willow-wispy moss starts to grow on the sides. As you get closer and closer to this gate, you can see what appears to be like a torii arch, like the great Japanese styled archways. It leads directly to a set of doors. They are not made of wood. They are not made of stone. They are carved either ivory or bone. I assume at this point the rest of the party kind of caught up.
I was going to double back to the first room with the pillars that we had squeezed through. To refresh my memory, we didn't take either the potions or I think it was Sobei's weapon.
That is correct.
We left both of those in. Since we made the choice of the weapon in the other room, I'll go ahead and grab Sobei's weapon.
Okay. Essentially, well, I'll create an item. And we'll toss it into your bag here after a little bit.
Okay.
The party reconvenes, and you're standing before this great torii, this arch, and this carved bone relief. Depicted, you see what appear to be almost humanoid faces, skull like figures are etched into this door.
Something about this makes me feel like we're not in the same place we were a few minutes ago.
It certainly does look quite different than our, I guess, normal.
Well, we were told this place was a tomb originally, were we not?
See, looking at the archways, is any of the symbolism familiar?
Yes. Particularly, you remember seeing them or hearing about them, I guess, in your case, as when you were a child, when Mother spoke of her homeland. The others may have heard of these sorts of things around Western Valoris, around Dynast. The archways, not the skull doors.
Okay.
I have a curious question. The skulls and the doors, might they bear any resemblance to the skull on Lady Hitsune's fan?
Very astute of you. They are similar.
I'll relay that to the group. I'm not sure what to make of it myself, but it's worth mentioning.
I can drop this down for a little. Oh.
Mayhap it be a shrine to her of some sort?
At the very least, it seems like this is where we're supposed to be. So he will kind of heft the doll and move closer to the gate.
You don't see any sort of obvious mechanism.
I'll approach towards the opposite side as Caspian with the I think it was a glaive, right? That Sobe had.
We could ask straight from the horse's mouth. Sobe.
It was a... I don't know.
Sobe does not remember.
The horse doesn't remember.
The horses have a good memory. It's a pike, I believe.
Yes, you had an ornate pike.
Yeah.
So I'll approach, so we're both approaching at the same time, basically. I'm keeping pace, so we both have weapon and doll of weapon. And
very good. As you guys approach the gates with the two keys in hand, the skulls start to kind of shift and chatter. The bone door starts to shake. Bits of sediment and earth starts to fall from the ceiling. The mist just sweeps wide. The door cracks open, and all the way up the path, you can see the mist just completely depart. You can see kind of the magma type igneous rock that you've been walking on. But let's get to the heart of the matter. You guys want to know what's inside the door, right?
Not especially. We could go back now. Let's pop the firecrackers.
That's it. We're done. You open the door. You see, this is not to scale, so we're gonna step out and we're going to go into a bit of a theater of the mind here, okay? You see a field before you, a field of fire. The grass is ablaze all around you. You see small pools of what were once water just boiling in like a liquid kind of heat, bubbling, hissing, misting. The air here is so humid and hot, it becomes hard to breathe. Your throat starts to kind of swell up. You can see figures attached to essentially like the stocks. They've been stripped of all their clothing, placed in these implements. You can see bits of iron poking in and through and out their skin as some of their flesh is being kind of pulled and rent apart. You can see piles of bone and teeth and blood all around. In the distance, you see what appears to be like a tall hill, but built on top of this is like a dais made of bone and ivory and black ebony. You see two figures standing atop. One is partially recognizable, though it's not. You get the sense of it's not the same person or being or entity that you've met before. This figure is completely dwarfed by another, giving out commands, laughing, ululating, in almost ecstasy at the pleasure of seeing flesh rent, bones snapping. His arm resting on the backside of this woman. They both look at you. And in an instant, the apparition is gone. You're standing in a marble kind of slate room again. You see the 8 great pillars reaching towards the ceiling. You imagine this room is 120 foot tall, a large kind of cathedral type area. In the back, you see an apparition. And let me find it here. We'll just make it big here for effect.
Did you find it?
What were we finding?
My experiment.
The one with the red hair.
Yes, I think that's what it was. Come, let us discuss.
Caspian looks at the doll in his hands. Does it have red hair?
It does not.
Okay, good.
This entity, seeing that you kind of glance down at the doll.
Did you find what you were looking for?
I hope so, because I don't want to go back in there.
Then come. There is much to discuss. I know who you are. I know why you're here. Let us discuss why I'm going to help you.
Would anyone like to step foot in the room?
Valderin will.
Step together, Miss Vic?
Yes, come, my kinsman.
Yes, I believe the only way is forward now.
You provide the left foot, I'll provide the right.
So, she has sent you here to learn. But I imagine many of the books you found not. Found wanting, did you not?
Aye. That be the case indeed.
There was a whole room of them that had been wiped clean of all information.
Not wiped clean. Protected.
From the Nagpa, I'm guessing?
From all.
So their words were not stolen, merely hidden away.
Delicious morsels. All for my pleasure. For my consumption.
So it was you who devoured all the information those tomes have.
There is a great many things. My hunger is great. Come closer. Tell me what is going on in the outside world.
Remember what we were told. Be careful what you bring with you.
If you know why she sent us, then I think you can guess why we were sent here to find what we did.
Do you truly think they sent you after some paltry weapon of power? You're so foolish. It is a test. A test.
And are you part of this test then?
I am your beginning. I shall be your ending. A great many things we can accomplish. Come closer, my children. Let us parley.
Very well. What is it that you want?
I want to know everything you know. And in return, I will answer 5 questions.
Well, how familiar are you with what's going on in Tantibus right now? That'd be a good place to start.
Tantibus, the city of vile refuse. What I know is